Give me 1 second. Chop it up. All right, y'all should be able to hear me a little bit better. All right. Yeah, so anyway, so y'all see the title. I just want to chop it up a little bit. Stuff internet land, new Monday, new week, motherfuckers stay opening shit back up. So shit slowly but surely. So you'll see what by the end of the month, some stuff is I'll be opening up a little bit more, but I think this shit'll go all the way to June. It's gonna be interesting because this summer, I'm gonna keep it real. Yeah, this summer, I don't know. But right now I'm chilling. I'm really looking forward to see what happens on the fall. Because when you think about the fall, man, the presidential election, what goes down when it comes to sales is gonna be important. Yeah, what's up, Sam I am? What's up, Pharaoh? But let me jump right into damn man, these fucking cars. Let me jump into what I want to talk about. Like real fucking talk. So, y'all see the title. The world is yours if you can see it for what it is. And I was gonna add if you can see and accept it for what it is, because just because you can see it for what it is doesn't mean you accept it. A lot of these motherfuckers that you see to be on the fence for stuff have a trouble for accepting it for what it is. And understand that you gotta understand that people have multiple faces. They have the shit that's gonna be said in the public square that they think is appropriate to say in a public square, kind of like what I call accepted lies. Let's call it double think from 1984. So accepted these truth. This is why motherfuckers will say my truth. Because as long as you accept it as truth, the shit could be complete bullshit. You have motherfuckers out here that really think the world, they'll try to make an argument that the fucking world is fucking flat. You have some people that will actually try to debate that shit. They will actually try to debate that shit. Um, and that's their truth. And that may seem like an extreme, but what it goes to tell you is there's really nothing on the table, man. There's nothing on the table that motherfuckers can believe. And it doesn't matter if that belief creates bad outcomes, because that's the world, that is the Darwinism, the environment telling you this is not how it is. But hey, people want to cope the way that they want to cope. So why did I want to do this video, have this talk? I wanted to have this talk because at the end of the day, I do personal look, you can't change the environment. The truth is one individual's ability to change the environment, unless you have great power to do so, most people don't have that ability. But what you can affect is how you navigate and move through that environment, the cards you have been dealt. So the reality is that's where I draw my idea of personal responsibility from, as if in the idea, if you're losing, it's your fault you're losing. And and it and there is no honor in losing. Black people have this thing where they think if they can be morally right but lose, that there's some virtue in that. And the truth is that nobody is playing with those rules. Nobody's playing with those rules. I'll give you an example of another race. What it looks like for another race to do that. Now, um, I remember the episode of Boondocks where they was doing the Christmas thing, where he was doing his idea of what Christmas is, and Huey was like, he called the teacher. He said, "You're gonna get fired if you let me do it the way I want to do it." He said, "Why?" Because you're gonna get fired. I don't know, but he said, "Because you're irresponsible. You're gonna get fired for being an irresponsible white person." He said, because they go." And he said it straight like that. And he was right, and he did get fired. And the point to that was that's what it looks like for motherfuckers dying on virtue. And you don't really see people do that often, because at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? So when I'm in discussions or topics, and I say, let's say, shout out to O'Shea, because O'Shea kind of, validated the argument I was making about the not approaching shit. Because I know I'm not the only one that thinks that shit, and I know I've seen that. So my point is, I'm not here to convince motherfuckers of shit. I want that to be very understood. It's not my job to convince of the obvious. Yeah, I do this vlog because I like to break stuff down and I like to kind of go at angles that I think folks don't want to go at and unravel things that I think folks keep ravel because they just don't want to address that part, but then say they want to solve a problem. I want to be clear. At the end of the day, if you're fucking losing this on you, and I'm gonna keep it real, I don't give a fuck what environment you think you're in. And this is not just about that part. This is actually going in a couple other topics, things as well. I don't give a shit what the environment you're in. If you think the environment, tell dudes just like I used to tell, tell women with colorism. If you think the environment is so fucking bad that you can't operate at all, you need to fucking leave. Well, everybody can't leave. Well, then you need to deal with the shit. One of my favorite movies is Face Off, and John Travolta's character, you know, when he was talking to Nicolas Cage about him killing his son when he was really trying to kill him, he was like, "Oh, I wasn't trying to kill your son. I was trying to kill you, but you took it so personally. Why didn't you just kill yourself or let it go?" And that's kind of the mindset I have on these certain things. It's the reason why I talk about the market and why that's a valid conversation is because it's really not because, yeah, I think it needs to be changed, but that's not really why I talk about it. I talk about it because I wanted to be very clear that when men and women are having conversations, women are really, these females really believe that men have an advantage. They really believe that. Black women in particular. They really believe that. They really believe this. They really are so deluded. Did they actually believe in black male privilege? They really believe that. And they really, and they know when they're talking that the dudes that really you want to fuck wouldn't even have a conversation with you because they don't have to. They don't have to. You're gonna do it the way they want to do it, and or they're gonna lie to you and they're gonna do what they're gonna do anyway, and then they dare you to do what you're gonna do. That's when that Atari Dallas video. I need to get that video and upload it. That's when she said what she said. She know they gonna do it. He know they gonna do it. He gonna do it. This is why when dudes, when motherfuckers are in Facebook groups or fucking YouTube, women are talking. I'm like, you know that if that dude, if you want to fuck that dude like that, that nigga owns your ass. And you need to go ahead and accept that he gonna do what he gonna do, and you need to just make a judgment call on if the dick is worth dealing with it or not. Because at the end of the day, that's what he's thinking. This is why Alpha Male Strategies outwardly says that. He's only starting to moderate what he says. It's probably females that are coming to his shit. He sees that as more money. That's what it is. That's where it starts. That's where it ends. It doesn't matter the morality people try to put on it. At the end of the day, that's where we are. This is why when Obsidian always tries to raise the conversation to a standard that most black people are just not gonna meet. Not black people that ain't got money and got real consequences. But anyway, my point is, I digress from that. My point is, at the end of the day, if you choose to want to believe the world, your worldview, hey, that could be your worldview. And if that's working for you, that's working for you. But if it's not, then hey, it either you're gonna do the same shit or you're gonna do something different. So when women want to see shit, they want to blame black men for everything. At the end of the day, that shit ain't helping you. Fuck black men. If blaming black men was actually helping you create better outcomes, I could see why you do it. But blaming black men has never helped black women. When women date white men because they don't like black men, they generally don't wind up in better situations. There's only a handful of examples where that happens. A handful of examples where they've done it for those reasons and they've actually wound up winning more than they haven't. But no matter how good you look, no matter how light skinned you are, by and large, that shit don't work that way. Even when you look at like Sage Steele and think about it. Let's take ESPN, because I can take the usual celebrities. Look at Sage Steele. Sage Steele always looks like she has this like tick on her neck because she just can't handle the fact that she's got that tragic mulatto disease like all up in her. She tries to hide behind a smile, but it's like a crazy smile. Because quite frankly, she doesn't look like she looks like the eyeball out in her family. Because her kids is damn near washed out, so they look more like their dad than her. So she has this thing where she's angry that she's black, and probably she's angry at the person that is black, which I think is her father that is black. Which you don't always see that complex, but when you see that with a lot of mixed chicks that they really want to lean on the white side because they're always the oddball, and it's always going to low key be let known that they're the oddball out. So they do all this trying and it never works. This is how Meghan Markle's mom was. And you see it on how she act. That little struggle, that last bus stop struggle to wash it out. And it's a Chinese finger trap. Look at fucking Carrie Champion. Carrie Champion is always turning her fucking nose up at some black men. You know, she think because she got a couple $1,000 weave in her fucking head that means some shit. Trying to do the Naomi Campbell look. And look at how her relationships is panned out. They haven't. And this is a chick that, quite frankly, could probably get. She could have got some NBA players or former NBA players, but because she's so caught up on, she's one of these chicks that she's dark skinned, but you can see it in how they communicate and how they operate. The point is that I want to make is, if you actually accept the world for what it is and accept when I say your place in it, how to move through it, you can actually win. If you're in the United States, you can win. This is why folks like Ramil are more right than they are wrong. But if you're one of these people where you're trying to struggle against shit and you're trying to, like, let's take Derrick Jackson, for example. You don't really hear me say good things about Derrick Jackson, but Derrick Jackson is actually a good example of what I'm talking about. Let's be honest. It's not Derrick Jackson's responsibility to really empower women. It's not his responsibility to take adult females and really give them relationship help. That's not his responsibility. And let's be honest, they don't listen to him because that's what they're looking for. They listen to him because they listen to him for the same reason why a white person would listen to Anthony Brian Logan and Brandon Tatum. I want a black face to help me believe my bullshit. I have this certain view on this topic, and I listen to these people because they help validate me. Obviously, if they didn't validate my argument, then I wouldn't listen to them because they would be useless to me. Because I know a white person's going to say what I already think. I need a black person to say it so it helps me more so accept it. That's the same thing with that's the same thing with fucking what's his name? Fucking damn motherfucker. Yank that fucking dog. Yeah, I said that shit. That's the thing about fucking Derrick Jackson. They listen to Derrick Jackson because he's eye candy. He's like a romance novel. The cover sells the novel. He's the cover that tells them what the fuck they want to hear. And there's other dudes like this too. Because, you hear, and this goes back into the always argument that folks have with dating coaches. Because dating coaches, they want to sit here and protect the game. So they see women as like a value commodity in the game. So they justify, they always look for agreement with women. Like even when they're stretching the truth or bending the truth, they always look for a fucking agreement. And and the sad thing about it is, if you look at this shit like a plantation, a lot of these dudes are operating like house niggas. Meaning, ultimately, you be somebody that's saying that, oh, well, we need to escape the plantation or leave the plantation or turn over the plantation. These be one of the main ones that running interference. Well, by not acting like they're running interference. So at the end of the day, you got too many people that they either want to stay losing or they want the situation to remain a certain type of way in which it produces loser results. So let me say it this way. Most of the dudes, this is what the truth is. The truth is, there's this narrative that goes around, and I heard it. There's two narratives that go around. Narrative number one, the only way you would be talking about a gynocracy or the black community being fucked up is if you ain't getting pussy. Because apparently you getting pussy. Apparently pussy can't be bought. Pussy, like the only way to get pussy is if a female knights you and says there. This is that desired bullshit that comes out that I've been talking to you. Nigga, if you're not desired and you're on the outs, then what that means is you must be angry. Because this is how women operate. This is where the colorism stuff comes out. So that's a projection. And dudes project a lot of that female shit too. Because these are accepted talking points. The other talking points, like some shit Obsidian would say, is not even allowed to be even brought to the table. Those are things that are eliminated from the Bible before it ever gets in there. They're written out. For those of y'all that don't know, the Bible originally had quite a few books that were not allowed to be put into the Bible, the whatever King James version you have. So you have edited versions of the Bible, books that were not allowed to be put in because humans, not God, but humans deem that not to be needed to be put in, right? It's the same thing and what's allowed to be entered into the discourse and not the discourse. There's certain things that the majority of the masses are never going to hear because that's never going to be allowed to be put in the mainstream. So they put this illusion of true discourse where it's not. It's what's being allowed to be said. Corey Holcomb, if you don't believe me, Corey Holcomb talks about this shit all the time. He just says it in his own way. So it's not just certain intellectual people that are saying this. A lot of people know. Like Corey says this all the time when he says, there's certain projects he can't deal with because they want him to kill his show. So anyway, the point is a lot of the folks, these dudes are invested in females losing. They like to say, oh, well, motherfuckers want a reckoning. You want women to suffer. First of all, if we wanted women to suffer, if black men wanted black women to suffer, it's not hard to usher that in. All black men got to do is vote Republican, say, fuck racism. I'm voting Republican. We're removing all these things. Whatever we deal with, we going to deal with, but they going to deal with it too. There's ways to accelerate that if that's really what the goal, if that was a serious goal of black men, there are definitely ways to accelerate that. Also, there's ways of dudes just bouncing. Black men are the least men that operate that way, but that's something that's always out there too, because it's a way to justify female behavior. Oh, well, you want people to suffer. Okay, when I yank, if I come at you about you walking across the street all the time and not look at both ways, but you always do it, I don't want you to get hit by a fucking car because I'm always bringing it up because you always are doing it. Or if somebody that fucking doesn't wear their seatbelt, then they say, oh, well, you just want me to get hit and die. That's why you bring that. It's a fucking childish argument. But it's some shit that allows people to accept the shit that they're saying, which in actuality, it's actually true in reverse. The reverse situation is you have dudes that as long as they're getting what they need, they can give less. It's like I call it drug dealing. It's like, oh, I'm making my money drug dealing and I'm getting my lifestyle. I don't give a shit that I'm destroying the community. I don't care. And see, what a lot of dudes will say is they'll say they didn't know that this would be the after effects, after the fact, right? But they didn't know that like so many other black men would pay for it in the way these laws got enacted. Because a big reason it doesn't get talked about as to why the laws that you have that locks black men up so much, so deeply when it comes to drugs, is because black people help usher that shit in. Black people helped come to these Democrats and say, you need to do something about this crime. And they did something about it. And now motherfuckers are really mad. That's what folks see. If the Democratic Party ever wanted to really make an argument, if I ever became a Democratic operative, I could be like a serious one. I could say, motherfucker, you need to look at yourselves. Because these motherfuckers didn't come up with these laws out of nowhere. That's why they shocked that y'all go revise history. Biden and them, yeah, they wanted to activate those laws, but they had a lot of black support to do it. They just did it in a way that I think black people didn't anticipate, but they were asked to create those laws. And that's something that doesn't get talked about. Bill, like why it was, people forget that there was no real pushback like that when they initially created those laws and signed those laws. Why is that? Nobody wants to really tell that truth. So the point is, people didn't think about all that shit when they was doing what they were doing, but now people want to try to revise history. They want to say you weren't there, so you don't know, which, generally can be something that can be said. But the thing about it is you got folks that they're going to try to tell you what they want to tell you to justify what they did. And even though we don't know, you weren't there, doesn't mean you can't draw conclusions based on what the aftermath of shit was. But see, nobody wants to do that because they want to be allowed to tell their story the way they want to tell it. That because black people have a big tendency of either covering shit up or lying about what really happened. And this is why this shit seems to happen all the time, over and over and over again, and nothing never gets better because you got too many motherfuckers trying to rewrite history, clean up their shit. That's another thing too. But anyway, let's see what y'all talking about. What's up, Pharaoh, Mr. Pump and Dump? I'm in the Roger Report. I need to do a panel sooner or later. Edward, shout out from Telegram. What's up? What's up, Edward? Appreciate it. What's up, Roastmaster? Made by Ruben. Swirling is the black woman's attempt to weaponize sex against black men. That's a good one. It is. But the thing, well, two things. Number one, black women deep down know, unless you're an 8 or above, you're not going to get the white men that you want. You're not going to get the non-black men that you want. That's just facts. Yeah, you may get these dudes to fuck here and there, but they're going to fuck you at the closet at night. You know why they're there. They know why they're there. And they're going to operate accordingly, unless you're an 8 and above. And I mean a universal 8 and above, right? That's number one. And even an 8 above is going to be limited to really get the best white dudes. Because if you look at chicks, what do you see? Another thing too is a lot of them they try to think. I don't know why they believe that as they get older they think they can kind of go to white dudes. It's like that shit never works. But whatever. Sup, Dollar Washer? It's not anyone's responsibility to empower women except for those who they help empower. Absolutely. And in that way, you could definitely say that women help empower Derek Jackson's pockets. But at the end of the day, man, a lot of dudes get mad at what Derek Jackson says because they think that Derek Jackson is giving credibility to what women say. And the truth is, no, he's not. And Derek Jackson is so over the top, it's actually very obvious that he's not. And to be honest with you, Derek Jackson is a good dude to exist. But because if you see a chick that listens to Derek Jackson, I can always tell you everything you need to know about that chick right there. I can tell you right now, she wants to believe. It's just like certain dudes. If you see a chick, the dude that listens to Cynthia J, listens to certain type of females, I can tell you everything you need to know. I don't want to hear the good points. Fuck the good points. There's some of those evilest people on this planet had some good points. Hell, Satan had some good points. Like, so that good points argument is bullshit. So, so real fucking talk. That tells you what you need to know. And there's a lot of content creators that I've caught, like, did they sound good, but at the end of the day, you can always see the like. They always like him because they want to believe the shit and that's how you know they are on there what they on. Because here's the thing about Derek. If you listen to Derek, then that means you want to believe delusion. You want to believe bullshit. You actually value that. And all women don't value that level of bullshit. All women don't want to be just lied to like that. Most of them do, but all of them don't. And these will be the same women that talk about, I'm tired of men lying to me. No, you're not. That's what you like. That's why I say that on Concrete Rose and Danielle shit. I'm like, that's what you like. I mean, let's take the let's take the curtain off and let's stop bullshitting. You like being lied to. This is why alpha male strategy shit works so well. Cause you like that. Deep down, you want to be given the script. That isn't that what game is though? Game is a script, not an absolute script, but this, they say people like to buy, but they don't like to be sold. But if you're a good salesman, the sales process is actually a very pleasant experience. The sales process is actually a very pleasant experience if you actually know how to sell. That's the secret that nobody wants to tell you. And so if you know, and most of the sales is really getting in front of people that are already ready to buy. Most of the sales is really identifying, is identifying 80% of sales is getting in front of the right people. That's really this idea that you can sell ice to an Eskimo, bullshit. I mean, some dudes can, but for the most part, that's not really what sales. That's not even what you should aim for with sales. You aim for a supply, a lack of supply and a demand, and you match it, period. And you look to match that as close as possible and use your sales skills to bridge that gap. That's it. But it's not supposed to be you got this massive supply, this lack of demand and this massive supply, and then you think your sales skills can bridge that big of a gap, like a 1 to 100. That's not how that works. And that's not even what sales is supposed to be about. That's why people don't like to do it. Because that's what they assume it's about. What's up, Big Pope? Think about it. What supply do you think Derek? What demand do you think Derek Jackson fills? Derek Jackson. I just told you all a couple of minutes, like 10 minutes ago. Derek Jackson feels an emotional need. What need does Derek Jackson feel? An emotional need. The emotional, and it's not just an emotional need. It's also the look that goes along with his emotional need. It's the look, because it's not just what he says, it's who's saying it. It's the look. If an ugly old ass nigga said the same shit Derek Jackson was saying, it wouldn't matter. It's the visual. It's the visual part. The visual. Your eyes are your visual sense is your most dominant sense. So your eyes are the ones that dominate the most brain power as far as your perception of the world. So it's not just the visual part. It's also you hearing it. And then the shit when it comes to the books and shit, that's just bullshit. That's bullshit. So it's not like, oh, give me a cash app. That's that unacculturated prostitution. Rather than you asking for direct money, because then you're gonna be seen as a hoe, you can ask for things for other products as far as bartering and stuff that's kind of like one barrier with money. This is why the same folks that tell you you're supposed to take hoes out on dates, even though if they really want to fuck, you won't need to take them out on a date. These will be the same motherfuckers that got a problem with motherfuckers just putting money up and seeing if she bite. They can't tell you what the difference is other than tradition, because they personally don't know. It's about what they've accepted and not accepted. I'm like shit. O'Shea's group right now talking. Is this chick that is in her feelings because one. Shout out to Aaron Ferris, his group. You know, he posted some pictures of him on like a yacht, right? And it's some females on there. You know, fuck the fact they dark skinned. You know, they good looking. Because usually that's what they be bitching about first. In the DR, these are prostitutes. How do you know? How do you know these women are prostitutes? Like you make that assumption. So the assumption is any third world bitch that doesn't act like a bitch here must be a prostitute. Which anybody that's ever really been down there knows you really don't even have to do that if you don't want to. Because number one, that Latin culture is a different vibe anyway. That's what people don't understand. When you're dealing with black women that are culturated in the Latin culture, it's a different situation. And this is not to say that they're just dying to fuck you. That's not what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, the atmosphere is a lot easier to deal with because it's not all that I think I'm better than black men bullshit going around. That's one of the biggest barriers that dudes deal with. This is why a lot of dudes can hop the fence and not have these problems. Dudes that would be considered weird in the black community can find a chick that they like. And motherfuckers get mad. Because if it was really not that, then you wouldn't see people get mad as much. Anyway. But yeah. They're prostitutes. Bitch, how you know? And I said, let's not talk about the fact that black women got more passports than black men. Let's not talk about the fact that black women are going on these hoe cruises, which you don't need a passport to do, by the way. Let's not talk about all that. Like, y'all let's not even talk about the Instagram thoughts being flown out. Let's not talk about the OnlyFans. We're post OnlyFans now. Which I like dude Freeze said. He said was Backpage reloaded. You the OnlyFans now. And y'all really want to try to act like y'all got a right as a group to call somebody else a hoe? Y'all top role models in music are all strippers. Hot Girl Summer. 50% STDs. But y'all want to say somebody else is a hoe. And we know that's not what that's about. We know that's that sexual competition trigger. They don't like, it's the same thing with CJ King, but in another way. They don't like when dudes are out there basically saying, look, they got options. Whether they're trying to low-key say that or not, motherfuckers getting their feelings because, on Facebook, women rule that shit. That's why you damn near gotta have a different Facebook profile. Because if you say any little thing okay to women, Facebook is so easy for motherfuckers to just snitch and just try to shut shit down because they get fucking emotionally triggered. That's why motherfuckers don't even like dudes. A lot of dudes don't even like being on Facebook no more. Or the niggas that are still on Facebook are basically, O'Shea said it. He said, chick talk about she single mother, overweight, talk about she too good for any man. He got good morning. And then these fucking pussy ass niggas, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. Yeah, lying. And that's what a lot of people don't like to acknowledge. A lot of like this is the thing that kills me. Women will say that most of these dudes are lying to your ass. They are lying to your ass. They are telling you what you want to hear, and that's cool. This is why I've kind of for the most part I don't I really I see it, but at the same time it just is what it is. It's the same thing with dudes. Because at the end of the day, if you whether you're a male or a female, if you want to be lied to, then you deserve to get lied to. Like seriously. And I'm tired of people crying about the fact that the world doesn't operate the way they want it to be. They want to sit here and then, because that's really what a lot of dudes are complaining. A lot of dudes and a lot of females are complaining about. They're complaining about that the world isn't showing them what they think should be showed. And I mean, we can talk about it, but at the same time, ultimately, you either gonna handle it, or you're not gonna handle it. You either gonna believe the shit you want to believe, like colorism, or and because at the end of the day, you only getting older. Time is only moving. And here's a secret: the older you get, the faster time moves. Or you can put yourself in a position where you winning and do the work necessary to do it. And this is not necessarily a just improve because of this or because of that. Because y'all know me. I tell you, this is what folks. This is the difference between me and most motherfuckers that like to talk about improving. But they gonna at the end of the day, your women believe they're better than you. Point blank. Period. Even if they're sexually attracted to you, they believe they're better than you. So there's no amount of self-improvement that's going to really change that. Sure, you got about 15% of females that are not operating like that, but a lot of those are going to get took up first. That's the fact. That's the facts. So at the end of the day, you're in the American system, you have to expand your options just off the gate. This is not hard feelings. This is not about saying, go fuck with black women. This is just saying your greatest power is your power of choice. And if you minimize that power of choice, you are automatically setting yourself up to fail. Now, in this space, a lot of dudes will go out of their way to try to act like they are all, they never really say, it's only a couple of people that will really truly vocalize that. Most people would just leave it open ended because they know women get triggered. But this is why I've said straight up, I've said, black women should date out. I encourage black women to date out because black women have this tendency to like they like to act like the grass is always greener. And I'm like, if you believe that, then what the fuck you doing staying here? Oh well, my sense of pro. Shut the fuck up. No, that's not. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. No, it's not. That's not why you do what you do. So you need to you don't gotta tell me. You just need to own that shit. And if just the white boys you sexually attracted to don't want your ass, and you're most likely get a brother that you're sexually attracted to, don't accept that. But don't act like it's because you more pro-black. Some women that's true. A lot of women it's not. What's up, first fast attack? What's up? Appreciate that. What is up, Yusef? Yeah, I do need to email you. I want to get kind of my channel redone a little bit so it can be a little bit more. Because I definitely gonna start doing more interviews as well as doing more panels. But I definitely want to get one-on-ones. Yeah, definitely go subscribe. Y'all need to go subscribe to Yusef right now. He's got a really good channel. I actually think he's got some really good stuff to add. If you like Master Teacher One, with his finance combination of travel, Yusef is a guy that's also going to give you that good work, being that he's in insurance. He got financial information as well. So definitely, he does live streams, pretty couple times a week. I've seen it on the weekends. So definitely subscribe to him and show him some love. He's definitely somebody who's been on the panels, the O'Shea panels, and he gives good stuff. Absolutely. And I'll definitely add him to my featured channels because I think a lot of stuff he said. And another thing too is he's living there. He's just like how Master Teacher is over there, just like Aaron Ferentz does and stuff. It's important to really hear from the folks that are living what they say. And that's not a diss on anybody else, because everybody is at their level and they need to get there, and I understand that. But you got to hear the perspective. Shout out to Marco Grande too, but you got to hear the perspective from the people down there. Because those are the people that can speak to the most credibility. I definitely want to visit Salvador Bahia, which is where I've been told the black Brazilians are in the highest concentration. And yeah, man. So definitely click on his channel right now. It's y'all. You should at least get 15 to 20 of y'all. It's 60 y'all listening. And definitely here's what he's got to say. Also, he does interviews with other folks that are down there as well. So he has some different shit that you're not going to hear in the general manosphere. Somebody asked me, can you be red pill and married? I mean, you can be, I would say, I'll say this. Yes and no. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you could be somebody that is married and got red pilled. Or you could be first of all, let's say this. First things first. Yes, we use the term red pill. But red pill is not some fucking status rank that you getting a cookie and you get a badge. Okay? Let's keep that real. When we say something is blue pilled, what we're really saying is either the information they're saying is basically very basic, and not basic in the way that it's actually valuable. It's basic where you could tell these people have not ever thought about certain things. So we classify that as blue pill information because it's conventional wisdom that it's not conducive to the outcome that you want to have. But this idea, and even though when it comes to marriage is a very risky thing. And if you approach that with that mindset, then men don't do the vetting that's necessary. I'll give you a perfect example. One of the things that when I first heard Yusef talking, he was talking on O'Shea shit about, he said, let me talk to you about death. And I knew exactly what he was saying, what he was about to say, but I knew the way he said it, motherfuckers would get triggered. And motherfuckers low-key did get a little triggered. But he's talking about life insurance. That's one thing people don't do. It doesn't matter if you're a single mother. It doesn't matter who you are. If you don't have a life insurance policy, there's no excuse to not have a life insurance policy, especially if you're employed. Bullshit. You don't tell me you give a fuck about your kids and you don't have a life insurance policy. Yes, my mom does have a life insurance policy. But see, folks, this goes a little bit to what Obsidian was talking about in that, like, health is plan and stuff like that. But black people don't think of far ahead like that. So when we talk about why these white folks got money, they got good policies on them. Like, fucking for real. But the point to that is, when it comes to marriage, a lot of these conversations you need to have before you have it. Because most black men are never going to think, okay, you need to look at how the women in that family is wired, even if you're dealing with a chick. Because how her family is a good indication as to how she is or how she's going to wind up being. Because that's what programmed her. BGS has said these things too. But there's financial aspect why I brought up Yusef. By the way, Glenn and Cameron talked a lot about that. How to get your stuff in a certain position and minimize that risk. How to set up certain things. How to properly vet a woman and format a woman. If a woman has an issue with a prenup, then it's over. But see, the problem is dudes will go into a relationship. Dudes go into marriage the same way dudes have kids. Oops. Here's a piece of paper. Oops, here's a baby. Because they're not thinking about that. How many of you niggas are actually thinking about a bitch y'all fucking be like, you know what? She'd make a good baby mama. Most dudes ain't thinking like that. This is why a lot of y'all have kids by bitches y'all can't stand. And yeah, it's true these hoes do change up. But do you ever assess the fact that if you gave her a kid, change up? Why? No, because most dudes are not really fucking a bitch to give her kids. That shit just happens, and then a woman switches up on you because she knew she had a different agenda. It's the same thing with marriage. Most of y'all don't ever think about, and I'm not saying I'm like an expert. I'm not. That's why I point y'all to certain people like Glendon and stuff. But there are things I have thought about. Like, okay, if you get married to somebody, what does that look like in 10 years? Observe marriages of people you know. I know black people that are married. I can tell you many different situations that's worked. I can tell you shit that has not worked. And I've seen quite a few marriages. There's marriages I know they're about, some of them, uh, they're between 5 and 10 years. All that are black, that are young, that are young. They're like my age, a little bit younger, my age, a little bit older, and those they're solid. Now, obviously, I don't know they're married, so maybe they're fronting. But as far as so I don't shout out to black and married with kids. But general, and I can tell you, I've been told by black men that are married before I came in this red pill space. They were married. They were married to very attractive women. Look, this ain't what you want, because it limits your options. But see, if you go in it smart and you go in with a plan, that doesn't mean that 80% of divorce. I'm not saying, I'm not guaranteeing you shit, but I will say you'll probably come out with a better outcome than the way most dudes go into it. Most dudes go into it because they go into it with their fucking heart. And if you look at it a pie chart, most dudes go into it with, like, I'd say 70% heart, 30% logic. And any 30% logic they go into, the woman is shutting that shit down. And then now you really love her, so you don't want to lose her. And it's easier. This shit is easier said than done. But I will say, if you look at somebody like Mr. Fantastic and his situation, is not, obviously he has a woman that that's cooperative with him, and he has the mindset to where it's a lot of stuff that he's looking at that he may not have been looking at as much. So at the end of the day, while she's in cooperation with him, he's probably putting his stuff together in order to be prepared for any kind of eventuality. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. And that's not the worst thing in the world. It's not. But at the same time, I'm not about to gas you niggas up and tell you niggas getting married is an easy way to build wealth, as if that's what you need. Yes, the elite do that, but the elite do that to pass around money. The elite, that's a different situation than if you're not already in those tiers. If you're not already in the middle class, getting married ain't gonna be no speedy way to get to the middle class. It used to be that way because of networking purposes. Now that's not always the case, because what they don't tell you is to as far as getting wealth through marriage, is that's assuming the marriage stays together. Think and Grow Rich, a book that was written way before any of these laws were activated, will tell you one of the worst things that can happen to you is divorce. So that's a cost benefit analysis. So at the end of the day, I mean, if I see somebody's married to talk about they super red pill, I'm gonna be wary of that. But I'm also gonna listen to what they gotta say. You always gotta listen to what these people say and stop making these jump sharp assumptions and putting people in these boxes necessarily. I hope that answered your question. Pharaoh O. Edward heard about Gino Richardson, and that's still a yonder situation. BJ Ingram and Kendra did videos about that. Well, that's that nigga's fault. That's his fault. That's his fault. That's easy. I don't give a fuck if everybody, whether you red pill, blue pill, know you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Everybody knows that. And if you sit here and you want to pick up stray dogs and you don't give them their vaccinations and shit, stray cats and shit, and I have gotten a stray cat before and it worked out, not a female, but like a cat, but it's the same metaphor, then you deserve what you get. No. That has nothing to do with him being married. That has everything to do with him being a stupid nigga. Because every dude I know that's married, even the dudes that are older than me when I was younger and they were married, and it wasn't like folks that were married, they wouldn't have did that dumb shit. So he's a stupid ass nigga. What he tried to do is he tried to sexually bargain basement. And dudes need to stop doing that. Because I'm going to tell you something. You leave with your fucking money, that's what the fuck is the price of admission. Sorry. So that's his fucking fault. That's his fucking fault. And by the way, to be fair, they say 80%. They say a sizable percentage of these women have cheated in at least once. So again, women will sit there and say, well, men cheat, black women cheat. This idea that black women, this is why, Danielle keeps me all talking about what men do as if black women don't cheat. Like, bitch, y'all cheat more than we do. To be completely honest, because most of your dudes, most dudes that are getting women like that are not getting married. Not until late, till they get old. Because they can do that. And that's why a lot of these women are complaining about these dudes not coming off of the market. Because they don't have to. Because women have already stated that the only thing they a value they got is pussy. That is what they've said. That's why they get mad, because that's what they lead with. Free pussy. That's it. And dudes are like, okay, you and every other bitch. Yeah, they are usually married before they got red pill Shane. Yeah, you should stay the course. But see, that's changing though, because women have gotten so overt with their bullshit. That shit's changing. That shit's changing. It really is. Because dudes are starting to realize they can wait. Or what you starting to see is a lot of dudes are starting to get married. They starting to hop. And hopping ain't always the solution. Hopping it like dude, there is no one size fits all solution, man. There just isn't. And that's really what folks need to understand. There is no one size fits all solution. Dudes want a one size fits all solution. There is none. There's best practices, sure, but there is no one size fits all solution. And a lot of dudes just want an easy solution as long as they do that shit don't pop off. And that's just not what it is, because you're in a Wild West environment right now. Well, the one thing you need to understand is what women can do, they will do. There are exceptions to that rule, but those are exceptions. At the end of the day, that is what it is. This is why alpha male strategies got so popular, because alpha male strategies had a kill or be killed approach. Fuck morality. And a lot of dudes were waiting for somebody to really say that shit. That's really what had him really pop off. All the other shit, even though he probably did bite off some folks, that's not really what made him popular. That's what people don't really want to understand. That other shit was more like, I'm not gonna say it was filler. It was valuable filler, but that ain't what had people subscribe initially to what he was saying. Yeah. I mean, you can't be. You can be Shane. You can be red pill, Shane. You can be red pill. So you can be red pill minded and married. You can't be MGTOW and married, because by definition you're tied with the state. You can't be made MGTOW and married, because the very definition of MGTOW, the core definition of MGTOW, was really for you to not be tied to the state via a woman, and marriage is the epitome of that. So no. That's what the difference between red pill. Red pill is a mindset more than it is an actual designation. You can't be designated as MGTOW and married. No, you can't. That's like oil and water. You can't mix that. So now he may be saying that for marketing purposes, but at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. I highly doubt that his finances would even qualify to be separated with that. If that chick went after him today, I doubt his finances wouldn't take less than a 20% hit. That's the metric he'd have to be able to pass for me to say he's covered. He wasn't the first. No, absolutely, Shane, and I'm not gonna disagree with that. It can present you with a deal, but this is why I approach it with you maximizing your options. You don't go when you go house shopping, you don't go shopping for one house, because then at that point they can amplify the price on you. You look at a neighborhood, you look at a general, you have multiple options. And people act like dudes just do. See, what people want to present in the black community is that that's just what dudes are already doing, and dudes are complaining because no matter where they go, they're getting bad options. See, this is the incel argument. But the truth of the matter is, in the black community, most black men, due to proximity or due to other various factors, are only dealing with black women. If that was true, then they wouldn't be just fucking fat black women. They would be fucking other versions of fat women. They maybe had better software. That kind of tells you everything you need to know. Well, I mean, red pill. I mean, the thing about it is, before red pill, Red pill is not this universal thing. It's not the first thing. You know, people were talking about the bachelor lifestyle in the '90s. Shout out to Mr. Research. I mean, at the end of the day, man, the problem with back in the day, there were clearly defined rules. There's not rules anymore. These women are basically whatever you can get away with, you can do, and then dudes are just now starting to catch that fucking memo. And now the dudes are catching that memo. A lot of women are crying foul because they're just on some absolute childishness shit. And it's not even about being mad. Like when people talk about the market's fucked up, I very much know the market's fucked up. But at the same time, I'm gonna win in the up market or down market. I'm winning either way because I'm not above putting all tactics on the table. I'm not wasting no time with female. I'm not wasting no time. Like when motherfuckers try to say, "Oh, well, you a coon because you do this, or you can't be pro black and sleep white and all of that." Get the fuck out of here. I am not sacrificing my sexual access because of some motherfucker's idea of a black community. You can kiss my fucking ass. If you care about it that much, then you fix the fucking market. Oh, then I'm gonna do what the fuck I gotta do. Shut the fuck up. And niggas be always saying that bold. They say that they got God's backing when they say that shit. Maybe the you alpha male strategy was the first person to do that. But a lot of this shit predates YouTube. A lot of y'all niggas, y'all saw some shit on YouTube and y'all think that's the first time some shit ever been done. And that's not true. That isn't, I don't care. I don't give a shit about that. No, no, Shane. No, Shane, no. Because what you just said does not override what I just said before. He's still legally tied to her. So no, he can be red pill minded, but he's inaccurate to say he's a MGTOW. And quite frankly, motherfuckers should call him out on that. But you know what? I don't give a fuck. Because at the end of the day, if motherfuckers want to believe that, y'all believe that. Again, that's the title of this video. Like I don't really give a shit. I just get tired of motherfuckers always saying motherfuckers are faking motherfuckers this as if y'all motherfuckers don't like to listen to fake motherfuckers. If you're always attracting something, then that's because you like it. Stop it. That's true if you're a dude or if you like look, man, I got friends that they are attracted to bitches through drinking Hennessy right out the bottle, titties, tats. They attracted to hood rat bitches. They love that shit. And then they want to actually try to talk about problems they having with this. I'm like, nigga, you like bitches. So you lay with bitches, you get fleas. Yeah, man, but it ain't that. It is that simple. It is that simple. Well, you act like I ain't got all the answers, but nigga, you on like flea bitch number like 18 now. You know what the fuck it is. I'm not mad at you for being attracted to that, but own that shit. They love them black redneck sounding like where their pitch is like that Atari Dallas sounding type of bitch. You love him. They love that shit. That's the shit. And I even told one of my friends one time, and quite frankly, some of these dudes I've kind of gotten away from because they're the type of person where they'll bring problems by proxy of the bitches they deal with. And and I said, I know what it is. Y'all niggas like that old school porn at like 2000s porn, them type of bitches, and now them type of bitches are pretty much in real life now easily. Those are the bitches, them liquor drinking, smoking. Y'all like that shit. Y'all love that shit. And that's fine. Like I tell you, do the same shit. Y'all love that shit. And that's cool. I don't want to hear about your problems that come with it though, unless that shit's gonna affect me. Because I don't fuck with bitches like that. Not like that. And if they are like that, they know how to not be like that when they're around me to that extent. But not female. I don't need a chick that act bougie, but I damn sure don't like chicks that they it's like they always into some shit. No, I don't like that shit. Yeah, what's up, truth as I know it. Absolutely. I don't like that shit. And niggas love that shit. I know niggas that are older than me. They love them liquored up redneck Midwestern bitch types. And I'm like, yo, when you doing that shit, that's cause you're bored. And you're bored generally cause you're a loser and you got shit you really doing. Cause I know bitches that used to be that way that are not as much that way. Cause they got something to do. Anyway, well, they don't have to be ultra classy, but I don't like hood rat bitches either. There's a difference. There's a spectrum. There's a there's a spectrum. And y'all know the types that I'm talking about. And a lot of these dudes, they like them shits. Anyway, with that being said, y'all, I appreciate the super chats. We'll see what we can do with getting some of these streams going. And exactly, LA Divide, we all know those women. Because basically, a lot of chicks want to be those women. But this is Edward signing off. Peace.